Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for registering and attending this 7-day online faculty development program on outcome-based education, OBE. This is being organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IPSR of Nirmala College, Muvattupuzha, in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, 𝐂𝐸𝐳𝐶. We would like to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Sunil 𝐁𝐥 𝐿, Adjunct Faculty, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous, and also all the FTP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQSC coordinators, and all faculty members. Now, about this FTP, this is a 7-day program, and we have live sessions at the same timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is actually our second day. Our first day was yesterday, which got over yesterday at 9 p.m. In case you are not able to attend any of the live sessions, the recordings are available in the LMS for the paid participants. All the paid participants will have who have made the processing fee will get the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and also a participation certificate. If you are yet to make the payment, please make the payment of rupees 300 to Nirmala College to the account details that I will put shortly in the chat. LMS has hands-on activities that are to be completed along with the FTP. My name is 𝐂𝐤𝐳𝐴𝐽𝐻, and I work as Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited. Few things regarding the LMS. The feedback form and the attendance sheet are there in the LMS. There is not a specific attendance sheet in the LMS. What you need to do is you need to complete the activities and workshops out there to mark your attendance. And the feedback form will be available to you at the end of the last day of the FTP. Okay, so you need to fill that up in the LMS. We will not be sending any separate attendance sheet or feedback form. Okay. Also, people who have paid for the registration fee, later in the evening today, please wait for it, that you will get the email with the LMS details, maybe by today evening, later in the evening, or by tomorrow morning. Okay, so please wait for it. And those who have already done it previously, make sure that your emails are there in your inbox, or maybe also please check your spam boxes. Maybe it has landed there. Okay, or if you have made your separated your inboxes to promotions and social and the different tabs, please make sure that if it has not fallen into any of those tabs if you're using Gmail. Okay, please check those as well. Now, moving on to the introductions. The Kerala State Higher Education Council, 𝐂𝐸𝐳𝐶. The Kerala State Higher Education Council is the principal higher education policy input provider and trendsetter of the state of Kerala, and it strives to bring about equity and excellence in the higher education sector. The council is an apex level statutory body instituted by the Kerala State Higher Education Council Act 2007 and the Kerala State Higher Education Council Amendment Act 2018 of the State Legislature of Kerala. Perceiving its democratic structure and participatory approach in making decisions, the council is often denominated as a mandated working collective of all the stakeholders of the higher education sector, including academics, administrators, and students. Now, a short description about Nirmala College too. Nirmala College, Muvattupuzha, is a first-grade college which was established in 1953 and has completed 70 years of glorious service to the cause of higher education. The college is managed by the Catholic Diocese of Kuttikkanam and tries to conquer new heights in the path of academic excellence. The college is reaccredited by NAC with A++ grade with CGPA 3.73 in 2021. The college offers 17 undergraduate programs, 14 postgraduate programs, and 1 integrated postgraduate program. In addition to this, the college also offers PhD program in 7 disciplines. The college is affiliated to Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam. Now, moving on to today's main session. The topic is Bloom's taxonomy. That will be the topic that will be delivered by Dr. Sunil 𝐁𝐞 𝐖𝐞𝐞𝐤, who is the Adjunct Faculty, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous. So we'll be delivering this topic. Dr. Sunil 𝐁𝐞 has 30 plus years of experience in teaching and 10 plus years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Marian College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCT for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He is an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. 𝐁𝐞 has published a few articles in national journals and authored a few academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has also served as a resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently, he is serving as the adjunct professor, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir.
So, thank you, Sajin, for the wonderful introduction. First of all, let me ask, am I audible?
Sir, I think you're on mute.
No, I'm not in mute.
Sir, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So, Sajin, I could get more from chat that I am audible. Okay. Many this chat has been coming that I am audible. Okay, so once again, a very good evening to one and all. So we will be meeting here for the next couple of days. I think the first 3 days we'll be going together in this long journey of 7 days FTP program, and now we are in the second day. So before I begin with, I would like to thank the Higher Education Council as well as the organizing committee, especially the IQC of Nirmala College, for giving me an opportunity to be here and to interact with you in one of the most hottest and the most on-demand topic in the higher education sector of that is, we know that it is outcome-based education. Obviously, we have got a lot of confusions regarding outcome-based education and how to actualize it in its real sense. So definitely, this is a major concern among the higher education sectors. So obviously, our attempt throughout this section will be to demystify the doubts and that is the mist around the outcome-based education and to bring clarity in the concepts. We will try to make it happen in these upcoming days in its best. And very happy that because in the last day, I understand that you had a very wonderful sections by as well as rather than a very wonderful talk from Rajan Gurukul sir, Rajan Varghese sir, and Suresh Moni sir. I think all these sections are very wonderful, and I think that was a very good stage setter for this program. When I go with the outcome-based education, definitely in all my sections we begin with Bloom's taxonomy, because we know that this Bloom's taxonomy is something very, very, very important when we come with respect to outcome-based education. Because if you just try to consider the outcome-based education in its different phases, what I mean is that in the pre-active phase, which is the planning phase or the formulation of the outcome-based education, as well as in the interactive phase where we are interacting with the students, or we are creating that environment for the learning environment for the students in an outcome-based education manner, or when we go with the post-active phase, which is the assessment phase. In all these phases, definitely the this Bloom's taxonomy is something very, very important. So that gives you very clarity at the first stage of formulation, as well as in the interactive phase, as well as for designing a very good tool for evaluation. There also we need the Bloom's taxonomy. That's why in almost all my sections, I think after this COVID period, we have given training to about more than 20,000 faculty members throughout India and even abroad. So in almost all the sections, what we normally do is that we give a very clarity regarding Bloom's taxonomy. I don't think that this is something very new to you, because being teachers, definitely we will be having a clarity. We'll be having a wide knowledge on Bloom's taxonomy and how Bloom's taxonomy helped to demystify the complex teaching learning environment. Definitely we will be doing. So this section will be a attempt to revisit whatever you know, because the revisit is something very important, because I've told you priorly that this is something very, very important when we go with Bloom's taxonomy, when we go with outcome-based education in all its phases. Bloom's taxonomy spans like anything. So we will be having some thoughts and reflections on Bloom's taxonomy. And obviously in the previous day, Dr. Mendes would have given you a very clarity on how this section will be progressing. So obviously we'll be having about, though it's given 2 hours, 2 lengthy hours, I am not that much cruel to hold you all these 2 hours, because in this fine evening, and obviously I will not take you more than the attention span. So obviously our sections will be winding up in less than 1.5 hours, and I'll be keeping the platform open for up to 9 o'clock, so that probably if you have got any queries regarding anything related to this topic, we can interact, because learning happens more when we interact, when we share some thoughts in an interactive way, so we can collaborate by the end of these sections. So, and not only that, I would like to give you some that inputs on how effective that the learning management system, those who are availing that facilities, I repeat, those who are availing that facilities, don't miss that chance for working with the learning management system. And what I understand is that it is open up to 25th of this month. I think the real hands-on section lies there. There are a lot of beautiful activities, tasks, a lot of materials for collateral reading, those which has been prepared from our experiences and with the discussions with the research scholar, with the resource persons from this field, as well as by references of very authentic books. We have created a lot of materials which has been showcased in our learning management system. So don't miss the opportunity to access the learning management system if you have already got that access for learning management system. And also all that activities which has been showcased there in that learning management system has got a flavor of outcome-based education, because when we go with outcome-based educations in the real teaching learning environment, definitely you have to engineer that environment in a better way, so that the real outcome happens in the student, because that's the output of outcome-based education. We have to ensure, we have to go with assurance of learning. That's what outcome-based education is all about. So some some techniques on, because now we are going with the blended mode. The real time will be extended up from 7 to 9 probably, and all these sections recordings will be available in this LMS, if in some cases that if you happen to miss any of these segments, it will be available there. And don't think that the task which is been showcased in the LMS is not something very, very difficult. It will be very easy if you're taking it wholeheartedly. You will really enjoy what is there. given in the LMS. And also, I would like to say that even there is one outcome, this OB calculation engine, a prototype model has been there, which has been developed in Excel, has been there. So you can also enjoy that also, those who are having that LMS. So I think these things will be would have shared to you by Dr. Mendes in the preliminary, the first section that was yesterday. So I think without much of introduction again, we'll be going into our segment for today. That is demystifying. I would like to put it like that: demystifying Bloom's taxonomy, because Bloom's taxonomy is something that you already know, and my attempt is to demystify it if there is any cloud of ambiguity which has been centered around this Bloom's taxonomy. Taxonomy will try to make it clear. So I've got few slides to be shared with you, and now I'll be sharing my screen so that I can share few of the slides which is there for you. Because there are some network issues, so I'm just trying to keep my video on mute, stopping my video and sharing my screen. Now again, I have got two questions. One, whether my screen is visible, and whether there is any issue with my audio. If both are okay, then you can just give an S. Everything is fine. Okay, or S in the chat box so that I can ensure it. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. A lot of S is coming up. Thank you for your response. So going to the presentation, let me put it in the presentation.
Yeah, so just put it in presentation mode. Rest is fine.
Okay, so here we go with the first formal section of outcome-based education. Here we go with the Bloom's taxonomy. So obviously, it is very clear from the word itself. Bloom's taxonomy. It is something which has been given by Benjamin Bloom, and taxonomy is obviously we know that it is a classification. So actually, what Bloom's taxonomy is all about? The Bloom's taxonomy is an attempt to classify the learning process which progresses from the simple to complex. So when I say the learning happens in an individual learns in a format which begins with some simple, concrete, direct experiences, and gradually it goes in a road to a very complex and abstract level. So that is normally the way in which the people learn. So a learner learns in this way. So what Bloom's taxonomy tries to bring out is that it tries to classify the process of learning from simple to complex, from direct to the abstract level. The roadmap between these 2 points has been classified into different levels, and that is very beautifully showcased in Bloom's taxonomy. So we will be trying to at the first stage, we'll be trying to go and find out what are these levels all about. Obviously, we know that, but still we'll be going and exploring what are all these levels all about, and what is significant in these levels. And in the next stage, we'll be trying to connect it with our domain, whatever subjects that we are handling. We will be just trying to connect it with the subject and try to analyze how this Bloom's taxonomy could be made operational in your subject. That's what we are trying to do in this in this segment. So obviously, the outcome that I try to focus in this segment is that on completion of this segment, definitely you will be able to identify your assessment questions in par with Bloom's taxonomy. That's what the outcome that you are trying to bring about in this section. So since we begin with this Bloom's taxonomy, and Bloom's taxonomy is all about the learning process, obviously it is better to start with what is learning. So here we go with the what is learning. So obviously, if you go and try to explore what is learning in the internet or in some books of education, there are a lot of beautiful statements regarding what is learning. And what I try to bring about is that I try to steal one of the shortest statement regarding what is learning, the simplest statement. Actually, learning is a process. So learning is a process which lead to change. So whenever there is a process, definitely it should be accompanied by some product. So when learning is when we consider learning as a process, then definitely the learning will bring about some change in the learner. So the change is something that happens not by the fatigueness or not by the maturation, but by the different way of interactions with the environment. So learning is a process that brings about change in the learner. So you can just read the statement which has been showcased here in this slide. Learning is a process of bringing out, now there is some modification, certain desirable behavioral change in that individual. Desirable behavioral change. This dates that is a special mention. So whenever we consider learning in a formal environment, especially in the colleges or in the schools or in any formal situations, the learning is something which we try to bring about in the learner in such a way that some desirable change is been happening in the learner. So now we can just try to bring about the scenario of a classroom. So obviously, I am sure that all the participants here are all teachers. So we are, our real life is something where in the classrooms. So our real life, what I mean is that our professional life is centered around more about interacting with the students in the classroom. So when we go and take for a class, that is at the initial stage for beginning of a particular period of a class, at the beginning, the students will be having some set behavioral level. We can call it as the initial behavioral level at the start of the class. And you will be interacting with the students for about 50 or 1 hour. And after the end of the class, definitely the students' behavior will not be there at the initial level. That is, after completion of the class, still if the student's behavior is at the initial level, then definitely you have wasted that 50 or 1 hour time. So definitely there will be change in the behavioral level from the initial level to the terminal level. And what will be the difference between the terminal level and the initial level? That is the change that you try to bring about in the student. That is the change you try to bring about in the student. And in an outcome-based educational scenario, that change is been prefixed first. What should be the terminal behavior should be prefixed first. And we are trying to streamline the behavior to reach the terminal behavior. That is all about outcome-based education in its simplest form, the most simplest form. I've just narrated it from this small statement. So every class, when you go in an outcome-based education, every class you should have an that is an intended learning behavior that you are focusing for this class. That could be considered as a micro outcome of that class, intended learning outcome. So if I just take that scenario, a class environment, and replacing it by a course, you are every semester you will be giving about 5 to 6 courses to the students. So if you are handling one course, at the beginning of the course, the students will be having some initial level. And definitely after completion of that course, the students should not be there at the initial level. They would have been elevated to a higher level in terms of their behavior within lines of that particular course, the terminal behavior. And what is the difference between them? That is nothing but the course outcome. Is it clear? So that is nothing but the course outcome that you are trying to bring about in the students. And what outcome-based education focuses is that you are ensuring that outcome is attained through the different activities. And if I'm replacing that course with a program, that is the students after the +2 level come to a degree program, definitely they'll be having an initial level of behavior that they have acquired from the previous academicals, from the previous educational system. And at the end of the program, what should be there? How they should have transformed. That is nothing but the program outcomes. That is what we are trying to discuss it, all these ways, what are the technical things that is related, how to estimate it, how to go with assessment, how to frame these outcomes. All these things are will be discussed in this segment. So before going into, I have just given you a vague idea regarding what is outcome-based education from the simple statement of learning, right? So the expected goal or curriculum in terms of demonstrable skill, we can term as an objective. So now obviously you will be having some clashes which has been going in your mindset, that what is objective? Objective and outcome, are they different or are they same? Normally we try to say that they are just like two sides of the same coin. To a greater extent they are like that, because objective, the term objective, we mean that what the teacher intent, and outcome is that the other part. You are viewing the same objective from the other part, from the student's side, in a way which is more clear. That is, what are the final outcome that the students are, what are the end thing that the students will be able to perform at the end. So objective is something from the teacher's point of view, and the outcome is something from the student's point of view, what the students are capable of doing. That is what the same thing is, both the end of the same channel. One is making clarity on what the students are able to do on completion of that particular course or program. So we are trying to bring about clarity of thoughts into the educational system. That's what outcome-based education is all about. So now I am just deviating it and coming back to our Bloom's taxonomy. Now, outcome-based education will be the next section. I'll be giving a very beautiful conceptual idea, because if you don't have a clarity on these things, definitely our functional level, our activities and whatever we do in this line will lose its spirit. Definitely tomorrow we'll be giving a very beautiful concept as well as application level into the outcome-based education in the next class. So now deviating back and coming back to Bloom's taxonomy. I told that taxonomy is all about some classifications, right? So here, now I am just coming back to this a small statement. Learning is a process that lead to change. Bring it to your mind. Learning is something that lead to change. So I am taking that word change, and that change can be something that happen on the way in which the students think. So the change is that something which happens to the thought process of the students, or the change can be something that can happen to how the students value something. How do they fix their attitude? So the change can be something on how they perform some motor skills. For example, driving. Driving is a motor skill. So how the change can be something that happens to the motor skills related to either their professional field or their day-to-day life activities, or whatever thing it can be. So I took the change, and the change can be something that happens with this intellectual level, something like happens with the attitude in that level, or something that happens with how to we perform our motor skills. So Bloom's taxonomy is an hierarchical model which try to classify how this change happens in the first called what I say, that intellectual level, the second called attitude level, and the third called cognitive level. That is the change can happen in this way, and the taxonomy is a classification how the learning progresses in these three domains. That are the three domains of Bloom's taxonomy, right? So here I really feel much energized when I see this man smiling. This is nothing but of Benjamin Bloom. He's the person who has given this taxonomy right back in 1956, and it is and it has been revisited during the end of the 20th century, and in 2001 this Lorraine Anderson has come out with the revised model. So obviously when you go for some more collateral reading about Bloom's taxonomy, you can find two versions there. One is pre-revised version, the original format which has been given by Benjamin Bloom, and the other one is the revised version. And what we follow in our outcome-based education is the revised version, because that is viewing the thing in a verb pattern. That is what we could find in the revised pattern. So I think you have read this statement. What any person in this world can learn, what any person in this world can learn. You can continue reading. Almost all person, those who have not challenged in any way, seriously challenged, almost all persons can learn if provided with appropriate prior and current condition of learning. This is something which needs to be bold. Prior and current condition. There is a link between prior and current condition. So if you are giving, if you want to go and be justful in the current condition of learning, you have to ascertain the prior condition of learning is strong. And how can you ascertain it? That could be made clear if you have a clarity on Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom's taxonomy will give you a clarity on how the learning takes place in a hierarchical manner from simple to complex. And if you are going with any particular level, you have to ascertain that whether the prior learning is set. Otherwise, if there is the foundation is weak, definitely you won't expect what you are intending from the students. Definitely. So Bloom's taxonomy will give a very good light into this. So is it not very inspiring? Definitely. This statement just could be reframed in a different way. What way? that anybody can learn. Anybody can learn. You cannot segregate that he is a backward student if you are giving him the proper condition of learning according to his level, as well as according to the level of learning. Definitely, the miracles can happen. So, okay, you can just go on reading this. Bloom's taxonomy is a set of three. What is the three all about? That is what I have. That is what I have told in the previous slide. The three hierarchical models intellect. That is here I have showcased it. That is the three hierarchical models used to classify educational learning objective into the level of complexity and specificity. I told that learning happens from simple to complex level, even if it is an intellectual level, or if it is in an attitude level, or it is in a psychomotor level, it happens in a hierarchical model. And this level could be classified. So the Bloom's taxonomy is all about this classification of these levels. And that is important, that then only you will be able to fix what is the prior and what is the current condition. You can make a link between them. Otherwise, the learning will not be that much successful. So the three models are something related to your thought process, intellectual ability and skills. We can call it as cognitive domain. So cognitive domain is that which is being related to the intellectual abilities and skills which are nourished by knowledge. So the thought process, the intellectual abilities and skill are nourished by the knowledge process. So that is the cognitive domain. And affective domain is something related to how you form values, how you value a thing, and this value, how will you develop a value system in you and set an attitude in you. That is what affective domain is all about. And psychomotor domain is how you are going with some some activities, some real-time activities which need some motor skills like that. Psychomotor. So Bloom's taxonomy is a classification of these things in a hierarchical manner. And here in this presentation, we'll be going with the cognitive domain because that will be the pivotal component in the teaching learning environment in a formal educational scenario. And we will be formulating the curriculum with this cognitive domain, and both the affective and psychomotor domain could be integrated into the teaching learning environment as a hidden curriculum. So here we go with our cognitive domain, right? I'm sure that this will be all these images when we go for some offline sections or mentoring sections around the college. I could see this Bloom's taxonomy, the posters of Bloom's taxonomy showcased in every corridors and every places very well, especially in connection with NAC visit and all. I could see that. So anyhow, this is very familiar to you, that this conical type figure. So what is all about in both the side? I have just shown a roadmap from simple to complex, learning from simple to complex, or going from concrete to abstract. That is how the learning normally progresses in what level? In the cognitive domain. We have categorized it in cognitive domain. You know what is cognitive domain. So learning happens, the behavioral pattern changes in the cognitive domain from simple to complex one. And that roadmap is been classified into different levels as it moves from simple to complex. So I would rather like to say that when you move from simple to complex, the simple thing, the simple level will not bring that much of cognitive challenge to the learner. When you are going upper and upper at the higher level, from the lower level to the higher level, it brings about some more and more cognitive challenge to the learner, so that the learner become more and more productive in that particular domain and discipline, and he'll be able to contribute. That's the beauty of that. So our task in a teaching learning environment is to bring the learner from the lower level to the higher level, so that you could give a better cognitive challenge to the learner, so that the learner become more and more strong in that particular area, and he'll be able to contribute. So what all these levels all about, we will just try to showcase on what this is. So learning happens from simple to complex level in such a way that the first at the lowest level of learning, we can consider it as remembering level. The next level is understanding level. The next level is applying. The next level is analyzing. The next level is evaluating. And the highest, the topmost level is creating. So obviously, we need to have some demystification at this level. So what is remembering? Remembering, I remember means I remember. When will I say that? Yeah, I remember. I remember. That means I have stored something in the memory, in the memory, and I am recalling it from the memory. So remembering is nothing but a memory level of learning. That is the first level of learning. Obviously, we know that every individual is connected with the external world with the five senses, right? If we are all the five senses are locked out, then we are totally isolated. We are totally void from the physical world. So we are connected with the physical world with the five senses. So you are hearing me. You are hearing me. What is happening? I am trying to bring about some ideas in the form of sound, which has been created, some vibrations, and that vibrations goes to your eardrum, brings about some vibrations in the eardrum, passes through the Malasinga steps, through the auditory nerve, comes to the central nervous system, and it get recorded there. So likewise, all the five senses will be bringing the images from the internal, external world, and it will be recorded in the brain as memory. So when the memory level learning happens, you will be able to recall it. Recall happens even without knowing the meaning. You will be able to recalling it, isn't it? Suppose if you ask some GK questions to the students. That is who is the author of such and such book, who is the author of Macbeth. You may say that, okay, it's written by William Shakespeare. So even without knowing the theme of the Macbeth, or even without reading, he'll be able to just memorize it and say it is remembering the first level. What is the next level? It is understanding. So what is something happen at an understand level? It is an intellectual, it is an intellectual apprehension into what is stored in that memory, which brings about meaning. That is, a meaningful memory is what we can call it as understanding. You try to understand the meaning, especially when you are teaching this, interacting with the students for teaching some concepts. Concepts will have some abstractions there. So when the students first by heart it, they may not able to understand it completely. And when they try to think about it, concentrate on it, when he stimulate its thinking process, definitely he try to understand the meaning. So conceptual learning happens at an understanding level. So obviously, what we know that what we could understand is that most of our learning, especially even in the higher education scenario, happens at this level. They try to that is get something into the memory and try to understand it. Some conceptual level happens. They give the exams and get marks. So what is the next level? Whatever thing which they have understood, which they are in their which they understood, they are trying to transfer that knowledge into some unfamiliar situation. They apply the knowledge to solve their day-to-day life problem, or they try to solve something related to their career or whatever it may be, transferring whatever they have understood. So that transferring of knowledge, knowledge means that concepts that you have acquired in some practical environment or in some situation, is what we call as applying. So learning becomes meaningful only when you are transferring the learned thing, the whatever thing that you have understood with respect to certain domains, into a real-time scenario where you are able to solve your problems. That is happening. And what is next one? Analyzing. Obviously, I would like to say that analyzing is a higher order application where you are dealing with a complex environment. You are dealing with a real-time system. So a complex environment and a real-time system will be very difficult to handle it as a whole. So what we do, we try to fragment it into different components and apply what we know, our knowledge, into the different components, and try to find out some analysis. We try to find out some associations between these fragments. That is analyzing. That is analyzing. Suppose if you are want to have a medical study regarding some health issues, normally what we can do, we can that is fragment this human body into the skeleton system, the nervous system, the this muscular system, and you can just specialize it in these fragments, and you can just apply your learning in this, and you can just synthesize it and find out the real meaning. So if you're going with a PhD, you take one objective, and correspond to that objective, you make a multi-tier analysis. You create about 10 to 15 or 20 tables, and analyzing this objective in different ways and consolidating it and coming to that conclusion. That is analysis. So analysis is something, a higher order application, that is you are just working with a complex environment where for the convenience you are splitting it, and then try to apply your knowledge, apply your learning, and try to find out the associations. And what is the next one? Evaluating. So in evaluating, you are coming to the position of a judge. That is, you are raised to an elevation of a judge, where evaluation comes only after authentic analysis. After authentic analysis, okay, you will be evaluating it. Suppose if I am asking, giving you two mobile phones, and try to evaluate about some performance, what you do? You will make some criterias, isn't it? What is the battery life? Or what is the sound quality? Likewise, what is the cost factor? Likewise, you create some criteria, and you compare between these two mobile phones, and finally you are coming with a judgment that this is superior than that. What is it? It is evaluating. So evaluating means you are passing out the judgment regarding the quality after having a detailed analysis about the system. That's evaluating. And what is the top end? Creating. Creating means the word itself is evident. You are going out of the box. That is, you are creating something new and adding something to the bank of knowledge. So creating is the something which should come from the students, the innovations, isn't it? That is, on the basis of his learning, then you are going much higher into that. That is, I will connect it, evaluating and creating. Because when you evaluate a system, you will be able to identify what? The shortcomings of the system, the problems of the system. So what is the next step? I want to get rid of this problem. I feel a necessity that there should be a change. So after a thorough evaluation only, you will be able to sense that there is a change. There is a necessity for the change. So your thought process will work on that line and try to bring about some new thing which is solving your current situations. That's how create. That is why we are working with the projects. When I go for project evaluation, the first question normally I used to ask is that, what is the innovation? What is your contribution? Isn't it? Why we are giving that much of importance for literature in our PhD works? When you're working with the review of literature, you will be able to identify what is the current status of the area that you are doing research, and what is the problem which has been confronting in that area. So in what way you have to move. The review of literature will trigger the light for you to your thoughts. Normally what we could see that in thesis valuation and all, some copy paste will be there and less importance will be given to review of literature. Actually, that's not the right way. Review means you are evaluating your area and finding out the real issue related to that. Then only the real create will happen. Okay, so this is what Bloom's taxonomy is focusing. You can just read it, recall, explaining ideas, explaining. You will be able to explain only when you understood the thing. Using informations, that is transferring that informations, breaking all these things. I've explained it in very detail. I am not going and back and saying. Now, this is the Bloom's taxonomy, all about cognitive domain. So now I am just going to connect it with some learning stuff, so that you will be able to formulate questions in level with respect to these levels. Okay, that is something. So now I am just going to connect it with some area, some familiar area, so that you will be able to get more clarity on how we will be able to customize our learning in this area and customize our assessments in this area. That is something very important. So we will be going from slide by slide. So this is something you can say that learning is a process engineered in such a way that one level is a prerequisite for the other, and learning takes place in a continuum. Very beautiful statement, isn't it? Whatever that comes and gets stored in the memory will be put to intellectual process where understanding happens. And when understanding happens, you will be going with applying it. So when you go with application, you will be going with some complex level applications and finding out relationship. And after analyzing, you will be able to evaluate it. And because suppose if you are put for this judging a dance form, so what is really happened? You have to do a thorough analysis, whether the steps are going in the right way, whether everything is going in the proper way, whether there is a sync between the dance steps as well as the background musics, whether it's the classical form, whether the dance steps are in accordance with the classical styles, like that. You are analyzing step by step, right? And then only you will be evaluating it. Okay, then going to create. So now I have trisected this slide into three, right? Here in the first segment, I tried to showcase what is something which has been happening in the mind of the learner. That is some demonstrated skill. What he demonstrate. Learning is something abstract, and what the students demonstrate when they are in that particular level. And here you could see some verbs. So these verbs will be helpful for you to formulate questions in remembering level. So corresponding to every level, we will be giving some verbs like this. Okay. So don't think that these verbs sometimes may come in the higher level also. So the authority is you. Where to use this verb? What cognitive challenge that question brings? That is the ultimate. Valuing point at which decides which level the question should be there, right? And here I have showcased a few questions. Now we can just check out these questions. What is the first question? List the various domains in Bloom's taxonomy. I use the word list. These verbs are there in the LMS. No issues when you're working with its LMS. You will be getting these words there. So list the various domains in Bloom's taxonomy. So what will be the answer to that question? You are answering that question. You can answer that question with a minimum knowledge. So this question will demand only a memory level of learning, just memorizing what? Cognitive domain, affective domain, psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain, affective domain, psychomotor domain. Just by that question, if you are able to remember that particular technical term, you will be able to answer this question. Even if you are a PhD in this question only demand a memory level just to memorize this domain: cognitive, affective, psychomotor. I explained to you cognitive domain. You know what is cognitive domain, but I didn't explain to you affective domain. I didn't explain to you psychomotor domain, but still you can score mark for this, because I first told that affective domain is something related to attitude. I didn't say that the affective domain is something the learning happens in the 5 stages, where the basic level you receive something, and after receiving you try to respond with what you receive, then you value something, then you organize and internalize it, and then you characterize it and make it as a part of your value system. I didn't give you that stages, because we will be focusing more on cognitive stage. That is why I didn't go with that. So I didn't give detail about that. That is the affective domain is receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterizing. I didn't say anything like that. Or psychomotor domain, that is how we develop the motor skill. Like it should begin with imitation, and then you will go with some manipulations. Then you bring about the precisions regarding the thing, and then you articulate it and naturalizing it. So I didn't go with that, but still you can answer that. So that question will only demand what? Memory level. Likewise, if I the second question, define multiculturalism. I often see the teachers, when they're going for the valuation, if they are asked to define, if the students make some alterations in that definition, they will reduce the mark. This is not the definition that Newton has given. He has misspelled one of the word, or he didn't put a punctuation mark. Really, that makes a big differences in that definitions. I have seen the teachers valuing it in that way. So you are just taxing the students and restricting them to memorize the words of that person as such and reproduce it. So that is to a greater extent you are focusing the students. You are making the students to cram these word sequences, and then memorizing it and penalizing them if they have made some changes, alterations in that statement. Okay. So what is that? Memorizing. You are trying to memorizing it. Or name the union territories. Okay, they will go that we have got this 8 union territories, and recently Ladakh has been changed. But I only asked a name. So they will be going with saying that, okay, Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, or Andaman Nicobars, like that. They will try to name it just as a like a what we say that GK. So even without knowing what is the difference between a union territory and the state, what is the state of welfare in a union territory, likewise they will be able to answer this question, because it is only a memory level. They are just memorizing it and giving the answer. So that is remembering level. They have to remember these names as such. They have to remember the definition as such. They have to remember the terminologies as such. Even without knowing what is being implied in that, you will be able to answer. That's remembering. So going to the next level is understanding. Going to the next level is understanding. What is there in that understanding? There you tried to explore the meaning of what you have stored in the memory. So that is understanding information, grasp meaning. So when they try to grasp meaning, what happens? They translate their knowledge into new content. They try to write the things in their own way, express the things in their own way. Why expressing it in their own way? Because they understood what is meant by that. The conceptual learning happened. They learned. That is what happened in the understanding level. So learning goes little more higher. So these are some of the verbs that can be helpful for you for framing the questions. And I again repeat that These verbs could be used at the higher level or lower level. And it is you are the authority, what type of learning you are expecting from the students from that question. So you can just see, I am just taking that same scenario throughout. The first is regarding the topic that we are discussing, Bloom's taxonomy, right? So before I asked the list, now what did I ask? Explain the various levels of learning in cognitive domain. So if you want to explain it in your own words, definitely you should know what is cognitive domain and what is the different levels of learning in the cognitive domain. And so all these things you have to be clear. Then only you will be able to explain it correctly. So when you start explaining, what happens? What happens when you start explaining? I could rather say that when you start explaining, I could rather say that you have understood. You have understood this cognitive domain. So before I asked define means I am caged. That is, I have to remember the statement, the verbal statement which has been given by some other persons. As such, and I have to write it. So now, what did I ask? Restate multiculturalism in your own words. Suppose if you're writing it in your own words, that means you understood it rightly, right? You understood it. Suppose if I say that multiculturalism is just like a fruit salad. Yeah, it's a very good time to think about fruit salad. Okay, evening time. So what is multiculturalism here? In what is there in the fruit salad? The different fruits are inside this fruit salad without losing its integrity, clubbed with the cream. Isn't it? Suppose if it is we know that India is a land of diversity, a multiculturalistic land, because we have got different cultures which has been bound by the cream of nationalism. So if the students are able to identify that the multiculturalism is just like a fruit salad rather than a mixed fruit juice, what happens in a mixed fruit juice? All the integrity loses, they become as a homogeneous compound. Only one identity is there. So there they have having multifarious identity, respecting the multifarious identity and living together as coexisting together in some cream of some spirit of nationalism or some spirit of cohesive force between them. So discuss the privileges of Union Territory of India. By naming, you just remember that. So if you are discussing about the privileges that the Union Territory of India is been enjoying, what is the life of the people there? What are the different benefits that they are having? What are, likewise, if you are able to discuss it, explain it, illustrate it, then definitely you understood what is the difference between Union Territory and state. So okay, going to apply. So we know that application means use method, concept, laws in a new situation. And what is that? Transferring your knowledge to an unfamiliar situation and solving the problem. So solve problem using the required skills or knowledge that you've already acquired. That's it. So these are the verbs that may help you to. I'm not reading the verbs one by one. These verbs can help you to formulate a question. So here I have made a question. Suppose I am asking, frame few questions related to each domain in your subject. So first question is from Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, at the remembering level, I just asked you to list. At understanding level, I asked you to explain. And here I asked you to, I didn't ask you about Bloom's taxonomy. I asked you to frame few questions frame few questions related to each domain in your subject. So we have gone into detail with the cognitive domain, and I am asking you to frame few questions from cognitive domain, each level of the cognitive domain. That is, I am asking you to prepare one question from remembering level. I am asking you to prepare one question from understanding level. one question from application level like that. So questions from what? Not about Bloom's taxonomy, but from the subject that you are handling. Maybe literature, maybe physics, maybe social science. So I want to apply, I want to transfer the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to the subject that you are handling, and I want you to frame questions in your subjects in par with the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. That's a very beautiful application. Very beautiful application. Transferring that knowledge into your subject and framing questions in the lines of Bloom's taxonomy. So now illustrate few multiculturalistic practices in education, because in education system there are different multiculturalistic practices. So they are applying the concepts, knowledge of these multiculturalism, and they are transferring it into their education system, and they are trying to explain that these practices are highly multiculturalistic. So likewise in this applying, you are transferring the knowledge. Okay, so now we will go with a little more hurry. I've given you a promise that I'll be concluding it before within 1.5 hours. Okay, there are still time. So what is analyzing? I told that analyzing is something an higher order application where we are breaking down a system into the component parts, applying the knowledge, finding out some connections between them, finding out the relationship between them. That is what we do in analysis. Suppose you are handling computer programming. You are handling computer programming. You have written a very a big program. Obviously, if you're writing a program about a system, that will be very big. And the thing is that the program is not working as if it is required, as it is required. So you have to bug fix that and fix that error. What is that? For fixing that, you have to go with analysis. You can you can segment that program into different components, and you can just execute it and find how these components are working, whether the syntaxes are all fine, doing well, and then finding out which component is having that issue, fix it, then you try to work it as a whole. So that is what analyzing. You're going with what you can say, the one very simple thing, that is salt analysis. What normally do? What normally do? That is, you are giving a salt to the students and asking you to analyze the salt by different experience, different not experience
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Please wait. We are just trying to fix this technical issue. I think the connection just went off.
I think I got disconnected. Now Dr. Mendes has called me and told that I got disconnected.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
can you give me where I lost the connection? What is the last area that we have? You got?
So, can you begin your
Can
presentation?
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. At least I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Please put it in chat. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think we were up to because when I go with the presentation mode, I'll not be able to know. Now only I got a call from there that where did you go? I didn't go anywhere. I was just explaining, explaining. So I think we have reached up to this analysis. Okay, I will just come back to the analysis. Let me share screen once again. Sorry for the interruptions. I told that there are some net issues can happen because in online section it often happens. That's why I just put my video off so that let it be in there. Let the connection be better. So I got that we were discussing about analysis, and I am just going with evaluating. Okay, I just come back to the analysis. Okay, we can go ahead. Okay, the problem is that I didn't. Okay, so am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's audible. We know that analysis is something higher to that of this application. And in analysis, what is the scenario that we have? In analysis, we are breaking down a situation into different components, and then we are trying to find out the relationship. So these are the verbs that helps you. These are the verbs that help you for creating questions, preparing questions in an analyzing level. So in the application level, I have given you one question, that is regarding Bloom's taxonomy. What did I say? I asked you to prepare few questions. Asked you to prepare few questions in the line of Bloom's taxonomy from your subject. So transferring the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to your subject. Now what did I say? Categorize the given question into the various level of cognitive domain. So here I am giving you some questions, and you have to identify which level this question suits the best. So what you should do? So what you should do? You have to check whether the question is at remembering level. You have to analyze whether it is at understanding level. You have to analyze whether it is an application level. You have to do the analysis one by one, and then you have to finally go with the final answer. So here, one another use cases of analysis. Suppose if you are having working with a computer system, that is what I have mentioned in my explanation. But unfortunately, the connection got disconnected. So in a big program, if the program is having some issues, it is not working. So how will you bug fix it? Suppose if it is a lengthy program, you will be breaking it into different modules or components, and you will be checking how each modules are functioning well, whether there is any syntax errors, and then you will be trying to find out the relationship with. So that is how you bug fix it. So that is analysis. Salt analysis. That's what the previous example that I have told. That is, the students will take a part of the salt, and they will be going with the different experiments, like whether it's a nitrate or a brown ring test, different tests. And after doing all the tests, after getting all these results, they will be trying to connect it together. So that is there also, it is analysis. Okay, compare multiculturalism and monoculturalism. There are two isms. So what is the state of what is the form of government in these two system? Or what is the welfare of people? How much the freedom that they enjoy? What all benefits that each citizen has been enjoying? What is the economic system pattern, taxations? We are dividing it into different criteria and then making comparison. Analysis. You're comparing to mobile phones, which is better. That is analysis. So analysis is a higher order learning. You are able to do analysis when you come to that level. That level, it's a higher order. Then going to evaluating. Evaluating, we know that it is higher than analysis. As I told that both analysis and evaluating are very close together. Only after a thorough analysis, you will be able to finally judge. Okay, you are comparing two mobile phones. After evaluating, you will be judging. Okay, this is better on the basis of such and such criteria. That is evaluation. So these are the verbs that help you to. These are the verbs that help you to create evaluative evidence. Okay, this ranking. That's a very beautiful scenario that we know. We are familiar with the different types of ranking, like NRF ranking. That is the different colleges throughout the India. They are categorized in different, like universities, medical colleges, engineering colleges, arts and science colleges, like different colleges. And every year performances they are collecting the performances report of these different colleges, isn't it? The SSR reports they collect, and on the basis of the different criteria, like right from teaching, learning, researches up to perceptions, up to the basic criteria, they will be analyzing the performance and giving them scores, and then consolidating the scores, and then on the basis of that analysis, they go for evaluation. Evaluation means they rank their scores and say that this is the top college, this is the second one, That likewise they put a list of either 100 or 200 colleges from a collection of big colleges throughout the India. Okay, so we know that we say that, okay, with respect to the engineering college, IIT Madras, number one. With respect to the Arts and Science College, Mirinda College, number one. That is ranked it. Rank means we are judging it, and how judgment happens on the basis of analysis with respect to different criteria. We are judging it. Okay, critically evaluate multiculturalism. Yeah, that is multiculturalism. If you want to answer this question, critically evaluate, critically evaluate, you should know the multiculturalism in its whole length, breadth, and in all its length and breadth and all its depth. Then only you will be able to pinpoint, okay, these are the merits and these are the demerits. So instead of asking what is multiculturalism, if the students are able to critically evaluate multiculturalism, that is a higher order learning. But they can be a trap. If you are giving this question, critically evaluate multiculturalism, and you are giving them in notes, will it be an evaluation level? They will be by-hearting it and reproducing it as such. So will it become evaluating question? So when you go to the higher order level, you should create an opportunity that let the cognitive process of the students work, not the teachers or the persons who are publishing the guide. So they are killing, actually, if you are giving notes for higher order questions, you are killing the thought process of the students. Actually, these questions are really evaluating level questions, but you are killing that question and bringing it back to some remembering or even understanding level. So this is what evaluating happens. And the final is creating. Obviously, creating is something that should go above. That is some researches. Obviously, in arts and science, there are more platform for creating. Writing a poem, not copying. Creating if their own. An art piece, there are a lot of for creating. For sciences, that is why we are going with the project. So obviously, it is if you are just giving some create level questions for a 2 hour or 3 hour examinations, it is not appropriate. So you have to. That is why we have to give some assignments, projects, etc. for giving create level questions. And when we go with create level questions, there should be some contributions, some innovations that they have contributed of their own with respect to that particular area. That is why, according to the new educational policy 2020 for the integrated system, the fourth level, the honors level, will be running with more priority to researches. They want the students to attain that level, then only they can become productive and contribute much. So create level is something very important, and that create level cannot be had from a 1 hour exam or 2 hour examination. We cannot bring a create level question. So this is a very beautiful diagram which is given here. Analysis means this has been broken into different components. You are applying the knowledge, trying to find out the relationship, breaking basic relationship. And actually, the create level is a synthesis of your knowledge to create something new. So for creating what is needed, you have to first sense the necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention. You have to sense the necessity. What is the real status of that environment that you are working with? You will be sensing a problem. That is why I've told that review of literature is important. Only through review of literature you will be able to know what is latest and current in the domain that you are working with. And you will be finding the problem. Then you will be converging your knowledge to that problem. Here you could see that three things coming to one. So you are converging the different knowledge into that, and you are making something new. That is what create means. So old ideas to create new one. So combine parts to make a new whole. So that is what create. So so designing something, a new thing, invent, create, compose, generate, modify. Modify means not the same thing. You are altering it. Your contribution is there. So such things can help you to create. So before in the previous question, we have been working in the lines of Bloom's taxonomy at an evaluating level. I asked the question, do you think you can prepare questions of all level of Bloom's taxonomy in your subject? Not yes or no, justify. So you will be so if you want to answer that question completely, you should have a comprehensive knowledge regarding the different scenario of the subject, and whether the Bloom's taxonomy is working well in all that area, and whether it is being successful in generating questions at all level. Justify. That is, you have to make a comprehensive analysis, and then only you can pass the statement. And you say that, okay, sir, the Bloom's taxonomy is not well for my subject. Okay, it is not well. Why? Because such and such area is not been able to, I'm not able to capitalize Bloom's taxonomy in such and such area. So what can I say? What can I say? At next level, okay, then go create a new model for classification of the learning objectives that would suit your environment. That is how create should come. So only after a thorough analysis, you'll be able to sense a meaningful. So that is the learning. Progresses from the direct, concrete to abstract. Abstract means that is been officially it is not there. You are creating something new, bringing it new. Though that's the roadmap all about. So, but in art field, in art subject, okay, creating in writing a new poem, or so such things have a lot of possibility of creating. Create a new presentation to inspire, like that. You can incorporate a lot of things like that. So this is how the Bloom's taxonomy should progress. And normally, I would just give you a small shortcut for enhancing the quality of the system. That is, if you want to enhance the quality of your college, because we know that the new national policy is giving high priority to the Q factor, quality factor, and giving a lot of autonomy to not only to the colleges, not only to the students, but also not only to the teachers, but also to the students. They're giving opportunity for multiple entry and exit. They can go and take one course for 1 year, leave with a certificate course. They can leave after 2 years after diploma. Likewise, they can take the ABC, Academic Credit Bank. They can learn 1 year program from 2 or 3 outlets from that means from different that is 1 or 2 courses from one college, and from the other colleges accumulate the credit and get a certificate like that. So a lot of autonomy is there. So in this situation, in future, Q factor is that something decides the destiny of the college, if they want to withstand the competitions, that we should improve the quality. And the shortcut for improving the quality is enhance the quality of the assessment tool, enhance the quality of your examination system. Because when you enhance the quality, if you're just giving the students direct questions like remember like questions, understand like questions, conceptual like questions, they will be caged in the lower level. That is lower order thinking skills, LOTS. If you are giving them students higher order questions, definitely they are bound to reach that level. Bloom has already told that everybody can learn if they're given with the prior conditions of learning. So if you're giving them an opportunity, they are bound. So if the students are able to acquire that higher order questions, definitely when they pass out of the educational system, they won't pass out as confused graduates. They will pass out as productive students who can contribute well in their professional field and in the social platform. So now the quality of the system is not decided by the infrastructure alone. That is why we are just collecting details from the students who pass out, how they are fixed well. It is that how they are fixed well in the society or in the service sector will decide the quality of the performance of your institution, not the land, the infrastructure. That is important, but more important is that the quality of the students that pass out of the education system, whether they are productive. Because if the students passing out of a particular engineering college, if the students are performing well, these employers will come to that college regularly for recruiting, because they know that the students who are studying from that college are really having worthful. They are not confused graduates. They are not confused graduates. They are something who have the stuff. And how can you ensure that? Enhancing the quality of that examination system from lower order to the higher order. So it is said that the assessment, the examinations are the engine that drives the quality of an education system. Definitely. So if you are enhancing the quality of the system from lower order to the higher order, definitely at the initial stages the students may find it difficult, but when they find it, there is no other way. They are bound to reach that, and they will adapt to the situation, and they will reach that particular level. So this is what OB also focusing on. They have to enhance the skills. So that is something very important. So now we know that obviously the new education policy enhances that by 2030. Almost all that colleges will come to an autonomous level, either independent colleges, whether it's more than 3,000 students or as a cluster, they will become autonomous. So when they come to an autonomous, they can decide policies that, okay, about 50% should be from lower order and 50% from the higher order. You can prioritize that, because all that exam reform says that enhance from LOT to HOT. What is LOT? Lower order thinking skills. That is from understanding, that is from remembering to application level is a lower order. And above that is higher order. Focusing on higher order so that the students become creative and potentially vibrant, so that they can contribute well in the society. So you can have policy not to put 100% questions in higher order. The basic level should be there. Okay, you can have some 40% from lower order conceptual level and make about 60% from higher order wherever it is possible. I repeat, wherever it is possible. That is not going to the first level course, an introduction course, and going to the create level may not be, it's not reasonable. So wherever it is possible, try to bring enhance. If it is trying to give an application level, okay, bring it to that level. That would be better. So so there should be a thrust up in the ladder, so that students can become more and more creative. So you'll be wondering why this slide is blank. It is not blank. It will come like this. Now you have to answer this question. What is the level of Bloom's taxonomy? You should read it first, then only you answer. Because the student learned from what? The students learn from notes. The answer to the question. Answer to the question. What is that question all about? Analyze the motives of speech by Mark Antony in Shakespearean play Julius Caesar. It's a very famous, even the small school students used to say that I came to bury Caesar, not to praise him likewise. So that is very famous. So what is the motives of that speech? What is the motives of that speech? Analyze the motives of speech. And you can put it in chat. You can put it in chat. Whether it is, when you say analysis, you can put it as K1 for remembering, K2 for understanding, K3 for applying, K4 for analyzing, K5 for evaluating, and K6 for creating. What is that level? What is that level? Let me go to the chat. If I want to read the chat, I have to go here. A lot of questions are coming. K4, 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 K4. Question is K4. And there are K2 is coming, 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 K3 is also there. So I asked you to read it correctly. The students learn from notes. You are giving notes. So who is analyzing that? Is it the student or you? So you are killing that the question is analytical level question K4. But the scenario is not like that. You are already giving notes to the students. You are analyzing and giving notes. The students have read that notes and gives a perfect answer in their own words. Okay, their own words means they didn't make a blind attempt to remembering level. They understood that thing and they have write it in their own words. So it could be considered as a K2. K2. So what you have written is right. The question is K4. But the situation killed that K4 and brought it back to K2 level. So these are some of the fallacies, just to put some thoughts. So how you have to tackle higher order questions, it should not be given to the, it should be given to the questions so that their cognitive challenge should be there. Find the volume of the cube when one of the side is known. Obviously volume, okay, cube, all the sides are same, side into side into side is the cube. So if I'm giving a question like that, the side of the cube is 10 centimeter. What is the volume? If I'm giving the question like that. What is it? Many K3s are coming. Many K3s are coming. When we see problem, definitely our tendency is that to write it as applying level. Obviously, but if you think it again and again, what is that? What is the formula? Okay, you understood the formula. Side into side into side. And instead of side, you write 10 into 10 into 10. What applying is there? So application is that you have to transfer. You are directly substituting it. It is not a real application level. It is just only an understanding level and even a remembering level. You are remembering the formula, just substituting it directly. If it have to be an application level, okay, you can give the scenario. Okay, a tank is in the form of a cube. The water is falling into the tank in a rate of such cubic per meter. How long it will take to fill the tank? Okay, then it is applied. You have to apply the knowledge of the volume and how it. So that it comes at. So that is the inner solution part. So that could be an application level question. So what is that answer? The answer is K2. Okay, the students are asked to conduct an experiment and examine the result of the experiment. Okay, let it be salt analysis. Here they are doing some experiment. They are making some different observations, and then they are connecting it. What is it? They are just connecting and giving, analyzing. Actually, it is analyzing. Salt analysis. What is salt analysis? They are not giving about the worth. They are not comparing or giving about the worth. They are just analyzing it fragmentally, and then they are giving it. It is an analytical level, real analytical level. They are conducting salt analysis, taking the salt, breaking into different samples, and then they are doing different experiments. Then they are connecting that observations, and then they are writing that. Okay. Okay. Now debate the pros and cons of net banking. So, okay, you should know what is net banking. You should know all that thing related to the net banking, and you are trying to put some positive and negative parts about net banking with respect to such and such criteria. This is this, this is that. activities. What is it? What is it? Net banking. Yeah. Evaluating. Definitely, because you should know the entire concepts of net banking. Okay, these are the positive things, isn't it? You are analyzing different thing, and you are passing judgment. You are passing judgment. That is match the following. Okay, this invention, this inventor, this invention, this inventor. Matching, just matching. This book, this author. This book, this author. What level? Oh yeah. Kevin, even without knowing about the invention, just like a GK question, it is. So GK is important, but GK should be a stimulus for further reading. Just to cram and by heart something is not. Now we know that technology is that much important. Every knowledge is at a fingertip. So obviously, that type of question should be only a stimulation for further learning. It should not be considered as the end of the objective outcome. Oh, this I think you will say because we told that our model is not working well. So what I told that okay, this working is not working well. You know that environment. Create a new one. K6. So just given a few use cases for you, and now we have one task related to this. We know that here our online sections will be going through these explanations, and the entire activities is been showcased in the LMS. In the LMS, there is one task that is you will be having this one in your LMS. You can download this. It's an Excel file, an automated Excel file. It is an automated Excel file. You can find it in your. This is your LMS. In day two, task one. You can click the task one. You can find the file here. Task one. You can download it. It will come like that. So that downloaded file is this, and you can download it. And firstly, you can just save it in your desktop. So what you have to do is that you can get one question paper that you are the subject that you are handling. Suppose if you're handling physics, okay, one university examination question paper, previous university examination question paper. So depending upon the subject that you handle, you take one previous year question paper. And you check that how many questions are there. Probably there can be about 20, 25, 30 questions. Irrespective of choice, you can figure out all the questions and mark it one by one. And what you have to do is that you don't have to do anything in the right side. In the left side, there is a column. Suppose if your question paper have got different section, probably there are about A, B, C, D, E sections are there. Not more than that will be there. Section A, read that first question from the question paper. Now reading, you will be able to identify which is the level of that question according to Bloom's taxonomy. There is a drop down here. You can select one. Okay, it's a remembering life question. And what is the mark, maximum mark allotted for that question? Similarly, section A, second question is an understanding level question, and it is 2 mark. Okay, section 3, okay, I am just putting dummy measures. You should read, and the purpose of this is question paper analysis. You want to analyze the question, you have to read that question, and you have to put some thoughts into that question and to identify what is the level. What is the level according to Bloom's taxonomy? It is again an understanding level. And what is it mark? This you have to enter it. Okay, going to part B. The first question. It is an applying level question, and it is 5 marks. Likewise, you can enter. So when you enter, this is automated. So by reading this, you can give your remark whether your question paper is good. So that is what percentage of question is at the lower level, remembering, understanding, apply, and what percentage is at the higher level. Whether your question paper needs improvement, you can write suggestions here. You can write the program name, okay, BSc, subject, physics, year, and semester, and you can save it, and then you can upload it in the this one. What is this? You can upload it in the LMS, and there is an SOP which define how to do the task. It's been very beautifully narrated. I just shown you that you can just select this one. You can select, or you can just pull that file into. Suppose if this is the file. Suppose if this is the file. Suppose if this is the file, you can just pull it like this. I will show you. This is very easy. You can just drag and drop. This is the file. You can pull it like this and put it here. That is the completed file, and save change. But I am not saving the change because that's the file which is not related to this particular thing. So I am not saving the change. I am just closing it. So this is how you have to do your task. So this is a very beautiful question paper analytical tool, which is being automated in an LMS. So you can only enter the things in this frame and don't do anything here. This is automated, and only thing you have to do is that what is the program name, year, semester, and you can just write your comments there. So that is the task for today, and I think I have just gone little more than 1.5 hours. Sorry for that, because in between we got disconnected. So this is the thank you for my section now. Okay, so now the platform is open for you for making any queries or something like that. So we can go ahead. The platform is open to you. No, I'm just leaving that platform to our moderator. 𝐬𝐸𝐺𝑖𝑛 is there. 𝐬𝐸𝐺𝑖𝑛, I'm giving back to you. You can just take the questions and put it to me.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sunil, sir, for that wonderful session on Bloom's taxonomy. There is a task. There is a task that is there.
There is one question written about multiple choice question.
Okay.
So what is now I am not presenting my so I'm just keeping the. So multiple choice question can be in any level. Suppose if you are giving a remembering type options in a multiple choice question, it can be that sometimes if you are giving a scenario for some calculations, then it could be like that. So if you are giving posing a situations and giving, so the multiple choice question, it is not the choice which is important. What is the cognitive challenge that the question is posing on the learner is important. The cognitive challenge that the question poses in the learner is important.
There's another question. For subjects like mathematics, how can we learn taxonomy levels? Dr. Pradeep has asked this question.
So for the subjects for taxonomy, taxonomy is something that you are that is mastering about how learning happens, and you are porting that concept to the different subjects. If it is the mathematics, mostly there can be understanding level question. You have to make the students understand the concept, and on the base of the concept, you can create application level questions like that. So depending upon the situations and scenario, it is the duty of the teachers to explore. And I will give you one more important thing is that if you are trying to identify the questions at different level, that will also enhance our learning level also. Different types of questions you are going, how to create questions in this domain, that will obviously expand our knowledge, and definitely that will be product informative for the students, and that will obviously enhance the quality of both the environment as well as the college also. Yeah, that is fine. Yeah, 22 years. Okay, okay. Yeah, I was there with working with the University College of Teacher Education, 𝐻𝐸𝐾𝐬. One of my students is here. I'm very happy, yeah, to meet you here. Okay, that's fine. Actually, the verbs are something that help you. Suppose if you are making a question, what is GST? What is GST? That is, it can be an ambiguity can arise, whether it is a remembering or whether it is an understanding. When you fix a verb, that definitely you can give little more clarity in the question to which level that it may. The question can be without verb, like what. The what means conceptual level. So there is a freedom to get the question answered in both the level, at a remembering level or at an understanding level. So when you make it little more clear, then there is more specification regarding what you could say the levels. So that's a very good question. I appreciate it. Can you set multiple level questions in question paper with the I didn't really get what is meant. What can we set a multiple level in a question paper with the two parts? Obviously, the question paper do not says that all the questions should be from analytical level. All the questions can they can be about that, and you can have a policy. They can be about 20% questions from understanding level or remembering level, understanding level 20%, application 40%, analytical level question. And it is not possible to bring create level questions into, because create means something the student, the learner is the authority, right? So how can you set this marking scheme for a create level question? It's practically not possible. It is the student have to defend how well they will be able to answer the problems, and it is on the basis of that only we give them assessments, right?
Everybody, those who have got access to the LMS, please make sure that
Is
you
it
do.
mandated to include all the levels of Bloom's taxonomy in the question? I told that it is the discretion of the teachers, or from the college or the academic council to decide on what should be the is there any standard format for such that thing. So obviously, it will be better to have some policy that about 40 to 50% of the question should be from higher order and 50% from lower order. Not to totally ignore lower order is not fine, because we know we need conceptual level questions, but that also and also higher order questions. We know that when we, if you want to reach higher order, you have to traverse the lower order, but still in the question paper that should find some place. No, we are not blindly. That is what I told, that action verbs are something that may help you. Action verbs are not that something that may help you in framing questions. That is, the action verbs are not the final thing that decides the levels. For example, I will put one thing. Suppose if the at the very basic level, a student differentiate differentiate between you ask the student to identify between an apple and orange. That is, they got the concept of apple and orange. At a conceptual level they are differentiating it. That's an understanding. But at an application level, identify, analyze, identify the salt. That is again and at a higher level. So the same verb can come at both the level. So the level should be decided by the resource person, the teachers, what cognitive challenge that, whether it is an understanding level challenge that knowledge is used for identifying, whether it is an more complex level process is needed. It is on that way you can categorize, right? Yeah, that is very good. 80% HODs, that's okay. If it's a policies right that, it will well and good. Yeah, that is, I told that setting the level should not be the for the sake of level. The genuinity of the content is something very important. To what extent the content shall go should be taken into consideration for setting the question paper. That's something important. So not for from the first stage you are trying to make the students great. It's not something. It should grow in progression. So that depends upon the nature of the content, because you know that the actually in the principles of curriculum constructions, the curriculum could be constructed in a spiral order, psychological order. There are different procedures in all this order. There is a gradual progression from lower to higher. So obviously it depends upon the stuff that you're handling, you will be able to fix. So the thing is that whatever higher level possible within the restrictions of your uh, content could be utilized. Bloom's taxonomy is only for objective MCQ or short answer questions. No, it is not for questions. Actually, the Bloom's taxonomy is something which is there needed for next day when we are discussing. It will be needed for formulation of the curriculum. If you want to interact with the students, if you want to actually, what is learning? Learning is okay. What is teaching? Teaching is facilitating learning. You are creating an environment. So if you want to create that environment in the right way, you should know Bloom's taxonomy. And Bloom's taxonomy is essential for evaluating whether you want to ascertain that whether your student has attained an application level learning. You have to set questions at that level. So this is something. Bloom's taxonomy is only for objective MCQ and short answer. That is not that is absurdity. Bloom's taxonomy is needed for the teacher to frame curriculum, to interact with the students, to know how the learning is progressing, and to check whether the learning have whether they have reached that level. That is why we are framing questions. Okay. So the priority is that spans the entire thing. That's why we are giving a separate section for Bloom's taxonomy, right? Okay, be positive. The students can will be able to acquire higher order when you are giving them a situation. So there is no need to worry for that. Not for easy type question paper. Okay, get rid of easy. Let the question paper have its punch. Okay, then only the students will be able to overcome that. Don't make everything dilute, so that the students will not be mentally prepared to make any challenges in life. They will not be successful. So make them go through higher order questions and higher order environments, so that they will excel like anything, right? Okay, so I enjoyed all these questions. Actually, this platform, open platform, is much enjoyable, so that we can share the ideas with the group. So that's fine. So Sijin, nothing is coming up in this chat, and I think I'm just giving you back. If you have got some updates, you can share it with the group. So. So I'll be there with you for the next 2 days. So tomorrow we'll be going with outcome-based education. So this is a forerunner of outcome-based education. We have set the stage correctly, perfectly. So we can go into the outcome-based education with a very good punch. And we can have some realistic analysis on outcome-based education and try to make it happen in the best way.
All right, sir. I think you have answered most of the questions here.
And the thing is that in our LMS, I just forgot to, there is a forum. That is, you can post any questions there. And the important is that according to the constructivism, according to the Vygotsky's social constructivism, learning becomes effective through collaboration. Because if you are keeping away from everything and keeping on self-learning, that will be only up to a certain level. If you want to overcome that level of proximity, you should have collaborative learning. And in the LMS, the forum is been given for collaborative learning. You can put your doubts, your experiences, then so that the community will collaborate. We will also be sitting there. We will collaborate there. So if you have got any more doubts when you are viewing it for the second time from the LMS, or working with the different materials in the LMS, lot of materials are there. If you have any doubts, you can post it there also, so we can interact together there also, collaborate. So I think okay. So I think Srijan, are you there? If you have any update.
Yeah, I will just say that the people who have access to the LMS, please make sure you complete the task for today. That's on day 2. The complete
Srijan,
that.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Are you hearing me?
Oh, it's getting more than 9. I think they're patiently waiting. So anyhow, we can conclude this segment, and I really enjoyed this section. A lot of good questions are there. We really enjoyed. I think such questions will bring more clarity. Is there any deadline for the assignments? Some assignments have. That is, the assignment for tomorrow will be in a different pattern. There is an SOP for how to tackle with these assignments. Anyhow, this will be open up to 25. So don't wait for the deadline. Normally, these are the questions that comes from the students. Don't wait for the deadlines. Take every free time as an opportunity to explore more in OBE and make it productive.
Can you hear me, sir?
So I think we can conclude this segment now. Okay. So thank you for hearing me for such a long time. So have a good night. So we
Sir,
shall
can
meet
you hear
tomorrow.
me?
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, everybody, make sure that you complete your task for today. We will be having more other activities and tasks in the coming days as well. So you complete today so that you don't get backlogged with today's activity for tomorrow. Okay, but you definitely have ample time till 25th of May. You have access to the LMS. But don't keep your activities till the last moment. Make sure that you complete it so that your activities have to be completed, and also the feedback form filled for you to receive the certificate. So make sure that you complete all these activities, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. We will start sharp at 7 p.m. So do join us tomorrow. Thank you everybody, and have a good evening.